What's going on, everybody? Ben Raven here with MLive's Detroit Lions beat. Welcome back to Postgame Live here over on MLive's Facebook, YouTube, and all that good stuff. Hey, preseason game one in the books. Detroit Lions lose 27-23. A late fumble gave the Falcons an opportunity to score in the final minutes there. And hey, rookie Desmond Ridder, he escaped that pressure on that throw and he threw one up. Jared Bernhardt, former Ferris State quarterback, for those recognizing that name and wondering where the heck that name came from. But yeah, the former Ferris State quarterback makes the game-winning touchdown in the final seconds. Pretty nice adjustment to find the ball on that one. But hey, we're not here to talk about wins and losses in the preseason. We're here to talk about what we saw from some of the guys, some of the fringe guys, some of the guys fighting for a roster spot. That first-team offense looked pretty crisp. I believe it was a 10-play 79-yard touchdown drive to open business, 5 minutes. DeAndre Swift capped it off with a 9-yard run, but the takeaway on that drive was how good Jared Goff looked, but mainly how good Amon-Ra St. Brown looked. The connection those two had, that's what you want to see. That's what you want to see in some limited action from guys like that. I mean, they were in rhythm. That's what you want to see. What did Goff finish up? Goff didn't play too much, but he looked clean doing it. 3 of 4, 47 yards. Obviously, they scored 10-play, 79-yard scoring drive. First-team offense looked good. Swift, 4 carries, 20 yards in that touchdown. The offensive line is kind of, it was as good as advertised. You saw the starting offensive line coming off the ball and kind of getting after people. That's what you want to see. I mean, that's what we're looking for. Unfortunately, it was just one series for the first-team offense, but they looked pretty good on that one series, so I guess that kind of makes sense to me. I guess we should probably talk about the defense. It kind of makes sense why we've all been talking about the concern with those linebackers, right? I mean, my goodness. The coverage and Atlanta really sliced and diced with the running quarterbacks tonight. I know that's tough to stop, and I know that's tough to stop when you don't really have a running quarterback or a mobile quarterback in your camp to really defend and play against. That has to come into, the thought process here. The Lions don't have a mobile quarterback that they're practicing against every day. That kind of showed up today, especially for the linebackers. I mean, my goodness, Desmond Ridder, 6 carries, 59 yards. Marcus Mariota, 3 carries, 23 yards, and a really nice touchdown run to kind of get to the pylon there. I'm here for that pun. David looked pretty solid. 4 carries, 22 yards. I believe, 18 to 28. 141. God, he got away with a couple of bad throws, though, and that late fumble obviously is not what you want to see from a guy battling for the backup quarterback position. But, I mean, that's a good pun. We'll give it to you. I'm not trying to pick on David, but that's a good pun, and we'll respect it. Tim Boyle. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. The 2 people commenting threw me off my game there. But Tim Boyle, he had that really nice deep throw to Khalif Raymond down the field. But other than a couple moments, he had that nice throw to Devin Funchess, who we're going to talk about more here in a second. The Detroit native, the former Michigan standout, looked great today. We'll get to him in a second. Boyle was shaky. That deep throw was nice, had a couple better moments. 9 to 16, 111 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He had a weird moment losing a fumble there for a second, too. But, both quarterbacks had shaky moments. Both quarterbacks had strong moments. But I guess I'm going through who I'm going to have in my stock report tomorrow morning, and it's going to be pretty freaking hard to leave Devin Funchess off that list. I mean, seriously. We're going to talk about Tom Kennedy here in a second. Don't you worry. But Devin Funchess has done little to nothing at training camp so far. He got hurt. He had that soft tissue injury, right off the bat. So that was a slow start. But, I mean, just truly nothing of note through camp. So to see Devin Funchess show up in the red zone, really nice catch there. 4 catches on 4 targets, 19 yards. Nothing crazy. But he showed he still had a little juice in them legs, hurting the guy, fighting for extra yardage. I think it was 2 first downs and a touchdown. That's not bad. That's efficient work. But Tom Kennedy, and I saw a tweet from the Athletic, Nick Baumgartner, who quoted Devin Gardner from the team's broadcast. This is Tom Kennedy. They cannot get rid of this guy. They cannot keep him off the roster. Seriously, it's been 3 years. 3 years between the practice squad and the main roster. The former Bryant lacrosse player just continues to, he catches everything you throw his way. 8 catches, 104 yards on 12 targets. He's a preseason standout. We see this every year from Tom Kennedy. It's just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, you see Detroit's fully stocked receiver room, even without Jameson Williams out there, and Tom Kennedy is still it's just, he shows up. He shows up, and it's hard to kind of keep him off the practice squad when he shows up like this. So, yeah, Tom Kennedy was really, really solid. I know it's fun to joke around about that, but 8 catches on 12 targets. I mean, nobody else had more than 4 targets. I take that back. Will Pimpleton ended up with 6 targets there down the stretch, but my goodness. What else can we talk about here? Sorry, preseason mode for me too. This thing just Austin Bryant. Austin Bryant has been a camp standout. He had a couple flubs tonight, but I mean, he looked really, really strong. The pass rush, his run defense has looked improved so far. I mean, he just really looks strong. So Austin Bryant. And hey, I haven't even mentioned the kid yet, Aiden Hutchinson. My goodness, I think he had a tackle for loss and another tackle on 2 of his first 3 snaps on the defense were there. It was so long ago. Sorry, it takes me a second to get back there. I was really impressed with him. He looked good on the pass rush. Austin Bryant looked really good on the pass rush. Deshaun Elliott felt like he was in on like every single play. Jeff Okudah and Deshaun Elliott. I know as Lions fans, you guys are tired of hearing about how good a tacklers your defensive backs are, but my goodness, Deshaun Elliott, Jeff Okudah, really, really crisp, really, really crisp when it comes to tackling, coming up against the run. And hey, this team's going to need it this year if the linebackers are going to look like this. I mean, seriously, mobile quarterbacks, that might be a problem for this group moving forward. I mean, I know it's a preseason. Like I said, I know the Lions don't have a mobile quarterback in their camp to really get them ready for stuff like this. Mariota and Ritter can do some stuff with the legs. Say what you want about them as all-around quarterbacks, but I think they proved tonight, Ritter was – that final throw, I mean, the Lions had some nice pressure from both sides on that Ritter throw, and Ritter was just able to kind of scoot out and give Jared Bernhardt, the former Ferris State quarterback and Maryland lacrosse star, a pro. Our former friend Mike Rothstein, who covers the Falcons for ESPN now, said Bernhardt is like Tom Kennedy times 15. That's one of my favorite nicknames I've ever heard. That's just my nickname for the kid, but oh, shoot. Sorry, guys. Preseason brain. 27-23, the Falcons beat the Lions in a wacky one. Kind of felt like the Lions had that one. They haven't won a preseason game since August of 2018. That's right. The Lions have not won a preseason game since August of 2018. For those counting track at home, not that matters, as we've all seen before, but yeah, not too many wins around these parts of preseason or season recent years. But I just think kind of like last week's debut of the Hard Knocks episode, not a ton of surprises. We learned things, but we weren't entirely surprised. The linebackers were shaky. The pass rush was better. The defensive line was a little better. I liked some of the things they started doing against the run. The actual running backs in the late game, they never really cleaned it up against the mobile quarterbacks. But, the linebackers, that's a concern. That's going to be a concern. Malcolm Rodriguez had that really nice stop on the special teams rep early, but there's just something missing from that group in terms of coverage, in terms of knowing where to be at the right time when you're playing against guys like Mariota and Ritter. I mean, if you got a guy that can extend a player, if you got a guy that can survive through his first, second, third, and fourth option, it's going to give this defense trouble. And that's going to give any team struggles, but especially a team like this that's trying to find their linebacker rotation, trying to find somebody to rise. Chris Board has been a solid camp guy. He's a rock solid hand, but that linebacker group still feels like it's missing something. I think we saw that tonight. Don't overreact to anything you saw tonight. I mean, first team offense played for what felt like 5 seconds. And Jared Goff, Amon-Ra St. Brown, DeAndre Swift, and that offensive line looked pretty good. And that's what it's been like in camp too. So nice to see that translate to a game, because I'm telling you, Jared Goff has been extremely crisp leading this offense for training camp. I thought he was pretty good tonight in very, very limited work. And if you're going to take a couple things to feel good about, it's Aiden Hutchinson, it's Jared Goff and Amon-Ra St. Brown's connection, and it's that offensive line coming out to play short spot, getting guys off the ball. I think that's where we'll leave it. I got to get downstairs. We're actually getting inside today. It sounds like in the locker room. Dan Campbell's going to be talking here, but we'll have more tonight. MLive.com/Lions. Follow Kyle Meinke and myself, Benjamin S. Raven, on Twitter. For anything else, we'll have stock report tomorrow morning. We'll have snap counts tomorrow morning. Then it's actually a couple days off. The Lions have one more practice Monday morning before heading to Indianapolis next week for joint practices and a preseason game, I believe, that is next Saturday. And we'll be there for that one. And that's about all I got for you here. Stay safe out there. Enjoy the weekend. And don't lose too much sleep over preseason football because some key pieces did look strong today. There were some good things to take away from this game. Obviously, the defense has got a little ways to go. We knew that. We knew that coming in. But somebody's got to rise to that linebacker room, and that's what we kind of need to see happen for this defense to take that next step. I know. All right, guys, I'm out of here before I just ramble into another circle. Ben Raven signing off. Thank you guys for following and caring enough to be here after a preseason game. So we'll talk to you later, all right? I don't remember how to close this thing.